allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll call the Jobs Development Authority meeting to order. And approval of the minutes of July 21, 2025.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Hatch,
Second.
Commissioner by Pierce. Any further discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 4 is the RWIP grant process update, and I see Susie's here to give us an update.
Hi, good
Hi.
evening. Susie Kenner with the Chamber. I just wanted to come in and give a final update on the RWIP grants. We closed everything out on June 30th and just kind of wanted to give you a progress update where everything fell with that. Thank you for the generous grant match for the program. I think it went really well. I'm not going to go over all of the details. You have it all. I gave you the final report. Some of it I've already told you about, but just wanted to highlight just a couple of quick items. As far as the Devils Lake Career Fair, we had 39 booths last year, and I'm happy to report that is something that even though we don't have RWIP dollars moving forward, we are going to continue with the school. And so we have set that for October 9th of 2025 from 4 until 7 for the second annual career fair. That was really well attended. I think they had the highest level of parent-teacher conference attendance since they've ever had with the high school. So excited to continue that. We had 123 seniors and 135 juniors for a total of 260 students that met with Ann and the school counselors during the one-on-one meetings. I don't know if we'll be able to continue that, but I did hear they're fully staffed in the counseling department now at the high school. So hopefully we can work with them to continue some of that if we don't receive RWIP dollars in the future. As far as the Job Shadow program, we had 67 total participants in that Job Shadow. It was new to Devils Lake. We had a lot of businesses participate in that and a lot of interest from the students. That is something we're looking at continuing. However, it won't be Ann sitting in the hallway 3-4 days a week enticing them. We'll probably have to work with the school a little bit where the school counselors can work with the students. We can work with the businesses at the chamber, kind of match everybody together. I know the Bismarck Chamber, I was looking online and they do like a week where you can sign up and get matched. So we'll probably look at doing something like that for that Job Shadow program. We created 18 local business videos that showcased everything that they have to offer as far as workforce. We had business meetings. We had 4 of them for marketing, workforce culture, youth engagement, and professional development. We did send out a survey to our chamber members here while we're gearing up for our next fiscal year. And a lot of those workforce issues were at the top of the list for things that they would like to see again. So we might recycle some of those items and then we might try and find some new ones as well to highlight in there. And then the summer job fair, we had all 523 students go through that. We had 43 businesses attend. And so we are working and have the date set for that as well. That's something else that we can continue. So March 25th of 2026 in the gym at the high school will be the second annual summer job fair. So excited about that. We had some newsletter enhancements that are going out and we're going to continue those as well. But really what I wanted to update you about today was our attraction grant and how that is going. So I gave you, apologize for the printouts. They're screenshots of our website pages. So you can see what those pages look like. Those are the long legal papers. So if you go to devilslakeindy.com, at the very top, there's now 3 tabs. There's the visit tab, which is more of our tourism related activity, the chamber, which is more of our business activity, and now there's a live tab up on the top. And that is new. That's one of the areas that came out of this grant. So you'll see under that homepage for Live, there's Make the Move, and then there's Find Your Fit, which has faith communities, community involvement, clubs and organizations, health and wellness and employment opportunities. And then there's Hooked on Fun, which right now needs to be expanded a little bit, but right now it's got sports and recreation and things to do. And then there's a Get Connected. So like I said, did screenshots of all of the different tabs so you could take a look. I urge you though to look online yourselves and kind of go through it. There's a lot of information in there, and we're excited to keep expanding that basically on a daily basis. But the very top, our hero image now has our 4 videos that are the family seeker, the cultural explorer, the worker, and the outdoor enthusiast, which really show 4 families in the community doing different things, from working in the community to hanging out with their family. There's more information, like I said, on all of those community activities, housing. You can download what we now call the Inspiration Guide, which is our visitor guide that also has some relocation efforts and some blog postings. The Make Your Move, we've enhanced with some different Life Here Costs Less to showcase what the cost of living here in Devil's Lake is. And then this is where you can reach out to your utilities, your realtors, your apartment listings, that sort of thing. Find the Fit. This is something we'll be calling out to the community. It has the clubs and organizations, community involvement. We're going to have a volunteer form on there or information. So if you're looking to, Commissioner Kanowski, if you're looking to volunteer for something, you can go on there and say, hey, I'd like to volunteer for this or that, but just kind of match up. We have a lot of associations or organizations that are really hurting for volunteers. So just kind of hoping that can entice that. Towards the middle of that Find Your Fit page, you'll see the full 4 videos that we put together, which is the same thing as the hero image. And then at the bottom of that page, you only see 1 line, but that's where the 18 business videos are located. So along with their chamber directory listing, this will be the other place where you can see those business videos that Noah Cluten put together. The Get Involved in Devil's Lake. This is a work in progress. This is what we knew was out in the community, and it's not everything. So this is where we're going to push out to the community that if you are an organization or a club and we missed you, let us know. We'll gladly get you added to that. Get Involved. Again, it's just some of those organizations. And then new is our year-round job postings and our seasonal postings. These are going to change slightly as we're working through some logistics with our website. But it'll be through our new coupon tab on our website, so you can go in and post your jobs. Right now, they're set to live forever until we go to delete them, and we really wanted them to tag off after so much time, so we didn't have them just sitting there. So that'll go through our coupons. We pretty much started our Google Analytics, which is just looking at all the traffic on our website, around June 1st. Through August 2nd, and this is in the last page of your report. We started with just some images for the ads that went out, and then around July 4th or the week after, all of the videos were done and produced of the family, so we kind of turned those into ads. And I just wanted to point out that our organic social engagement through Facebook and such is up 595%. Our user activity is up about 94%. Since we launched the Live page, we've received 13,384 views on the website. Our new users are up 32%. And we've had this is as August 2nd, so it's a little old, but we had 492 clicks on the employment opportunities page. So we're really going to be pushing out that. Not that we're taking away from job service. You can use job service, LinkedIn, Indeed for posting your jobs. It's just another avenue. So when people are maybe looking to explore Devil's Lake, they may decide that they want to look and see what we have for job opportunities. So the more you can get it out, the better. And then lastly, I just threw in the report our new tagline, "The Good Life is in Our Nature." So we'll be using that on some campaigns. And then I put in all of the different campaign messaging that's in there. The YouTube, we also did a YouTube series we're pushing that out one at a time. We didn't want to just push that out all at one time. So we just are starting with one this week. We have 7 different videos that Jason Mitchell Outdoors put together for us. And we highlighted a police officer, 2 teachers, a healthcare professional, a resort owner, a guide, and somebody that's in the ag industry, and an event planner that just moved to town. So it kind of worked out. She was here a week and I said, hey, let's do a video. So anyway, just wanted to give you the final report. The RWIP grant is done funding wise, but just because it was done funding wise doesn't mean that we're at the chamber done utilizing some of the programs that we were able to implement. So entertain questions if you have any.
Questions?
I've seen those videos pop up on Facebook a lot, so
Yeah,
they're done really well.
yeah, thanks.
Is that postings, is that something that's free to an employer? Or is that something that?
The job employment?
Yeah.
Yep, it's free. Yep. So with our website, there's so much that a business can do from their amenities. We're going to be adding military discounts. You can add coupons pretty soon if you want to give a discount on anything. Just updating your own photos or videos or whatever you have. So starting in September, every other month we're going to implement a new thing called perks, portals, and pour-overs, where Brianna and I will be at one of the coffee shops that morning from 7:30 until 9. So anybody can stop by if you're having trouble with your member portal. We'll gladly help you, get you set up, show you what you can and can't do with it, and really push out to the community to utilize those assets as we get a lot of traffic on that website. It's just another tool that we can use. Yeah.
Anything else? Well, great job. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you for the funding. We truly appreciate it. The next round of grants was set to be due out sometime in August. We haven't heard yet. I don't know what that entails or what it's going to look like, but hoping we can pull something together to continue to utilize the dollars, because without the state funding, as a small chamber, we never would have been able to pull any of this off. So appreciate your support.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next item is the pay application number 1 and MDU invoice payment approval. Is that you, Spencer?
Mayor, members of the authority, just the first pay application for the housing incentive project that we're partnering with Gleason Construction on. If you drive in that neighborhood, you'll see that there's a lot of dirt moved, some foundation is completed, concrete poured. So housing, progress is being made on the houses. And so this is the first pay application, as well as invoice from MDU to get power to the locations, as well as that was determined in the contract to be our expense. So I've sent this over to the Housing Incentive Fund for the first tranche of that $480,000 of the incentive fund. Sent that on Thursday. We've already received the money. And so just want your approval for the payment to the contractor as well as MDU. We'll get the checks out the door tomorrow, and we'll continue to give you guys updates. We'll have Mr. Gleason with Gleason Development here at the next meeting as we discuss the sales strategy for the homes. We kind of have that formalized, but we're going to run it through some of the realtors in town just to get their feedback if we're missing anything, and then put that forward for your proposal. And then I think that'd be a good time for a status update for the full JDA on that project. We'll welcome any questions, but recommend approval of the pay application and the invoice.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Hatch,
I'll second it.
Commissioner Kanowski. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
President Moe.
Aye, motion carries. Well, that concludes the business for Jobs Development Authority, so I'll close that meeting. I will now open the city commission meeting and approval of the minutes of August 4th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from August 4th.
Commissioner Kanowski,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Nothing under awards and presentation proclamations. We have a public hearing. First one is a change in zoning for 7965 County Road 1, Blake. Must be the subdivision or something. It's a recommendation of approval for changing the zoning on 7965 Route 1 Lake Road. Must be. So Rob, I guess?
So this is just basically some cleanup. There's already a residence on this property. It's been zoned agricultural. They want to add build a garage, but they can't do that without the zoning being corrected. And so this is just like I said, it's basically cleanup to get it to where it should be anyway.
Okay.
Recommendation would be for approval.
Any other questions? Anybody in the audience that wishes to speak to it? Nothing. Nobody here? Okay, that's good. Okay, we'll close that hearing. And now I guess we'll have the other one, or should we vote on that one first?
I'd vote on that one first.
Okay. So what's the wishes of the commission on this zoning?
I'll make a motion to approve the zoning change.
Commissioner Pierce? Commissioner Eulenkamp? Any further discussion? No further-
I need to have space in that garage though.
Oh, yeah. Okay, if there's no further discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 2, public hearing on conditional use permit, 7933 County Road 1, for Reese. That's their conditional use permit to, Rob, I'll let you do that.
So again, this is along County 1, and it's a request for conditional use to allow farm animals. They've got a fairly large lot there, plus they have a lot adjacent to it that's already zoned agricultural. They're looking to have some horses and then possibly a cow. They're not looking at a herd of cattle, but to be able to have a cow there. Again, it's no concerns with this and recommend approval.
Okay, it's a public hearing. Anybody in the audience have anything to say about it? Okay. Nothing. I will close the hearing. And now I'll look for a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Pierce,
I'll second it.
Commissioner Hatch. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, I bid nothing for bid opening. Visitors and delegations, nothing, nobody. We'll go into commission portfolios and Commissioner Pierce.
Keep going.
We're working on the triennial for the airport. That's August 26th at 10 a.m. We're hoping to schedule some interviews for Friday, hopefully, depending on how this week goes. If today is any indication, it's going to be chaos all week. Hopefully Friday. We have a fire investigator training class coming up in September in Mandan. We've had a couple people show some interest in that, so we might be sending somebody down there. Our National Night Out is coming up in September. We'll post details of that on our Facebook page. And then we're having our annual open house, which we'll get that information out also. And then we'll be participating in the LRSC block party. They just asked if we'd bring a truck up and participate in it. So, yep, absolutely. So that's what we got going on.
Okay, and on behalf of the city, we want to give the condolences to the fire department and the family of Alvin Schroeder, longtime city employee. And his funeral's tomorrow at 2:00 at St. Olaf Church. So make sure we do that. And so, okay.
Window vinyl looks great in the front of your building there. When was that put up?
Last week,
They tried to tell me a month ago because they thought I wasn't observant.
It was really nice.
when they first started putting it up, I was in a meeting and I came out of my office. I was like, oh no, because you could only see through half it. I thought it was still unpeeled. And I was like, that ain't gonna work. Turned out it was just the other back half of the sticker. And I was like,
That looks great.
Yeah, it looks
It
awesome.
looks great.
So-
Yeah.
But that's all.
Okay,
for-
Thank you.
if you guys are good with it, I'm gonna go back so
Yep.
we can get the fire trucks ready. So.
okay. Okay, Commissioner Euling.
Mr. Grassberg, streets.
Only thing on streets is a little update on mosquito control. Based on the counts that we have, there was a spike in the mosquito counts about a week ago. just over a week ago. And we've been doing ground spraying, PM spraying as well as AM spraying. Based on our electronic traps, it seems like the vast majority of the activity is about 9:30 at night, 9:30 to 10:30. And this time of year, even when the counts are down, I think the prevalence of West Nile is out there. And so in some cases, we're running maybe when we shouldn't even be running to help combat the mosquito population. So that's some of the things that we're doing as far as the mosquito control.
We'll start calling them Bob Barker of mosquito control.
Hey, I got bit this
Mosquitoes.
afternoon in my garage. There's something wrong. You gotta spray.
Help control the mosquito population.
So, Mike, do you guys like track like from year to year, you know, the traps numbers, like from years past, or how does it compare to years past? This year, you know, this August or whenever you took our last count.
We have pretty good counts the last year or two. Prior to that, we have records of when we sprayed, but the count information wasn't as readily available as it is now in a spreadsheet kind of thing that we're keeping. It's really, so right now we have 4 electronic traps out. Those electronic traps are live. You can go online. I can see what's happening. I can do a history for 7 days, a history of 30 days on what the counts are, the time when the mosquito was trapped, that sort of thing. So that's very interactive. Information's there, good graphs and things that you can look at. We have 4 traps that are out, our old traps that are manual traps, and we have them out, and that's more labor intensive because now you have bugs in basically a screened bag, and you have to go freeze them. And then once they're froze, you open them up, then you're counting what's a gnat, what's a fly, what's a mosquito, right? And so then you sort through that, and that's logged in the spreadsheet as well.
There's your job security right there.
Oh.
Do you do that, Mike?
That's not my job. My
That's
job
how
is
the
to make
count
sure that
was
job's
done.
getting done.
Yeah.
I did not know that that's how the count was done. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, there are times when that bag is full, right? Then you say, there's a lot. Because if we had some part-time staff just doing it, that's what they did, that'd be one thing. But there's times where it's just, pretty labor intensive.
Yeah.
But that's how that process works for us. There are some additional traps that we have out now that we're trying. It's kind of interesting. So there's a trap that's above a water pail. And the female mosquito then can go in there, they're attracted, and they're laying eggs. But there's larvicide in the water. And then there's a fungus that's supposed to be on that net that she's landing on. So she's contracting this fungus that will kill her, and then she hopefully spreads it to a few of her buddies when they're out flying around. So we're rotating that.
Okay, we got a lesson in science here.
Part of me is
Okay.
very sorry I've asked.
Joe, you
Yeah,
said that,
yeah.
you started that.
With the control, obviously, residents have to, the best thing you can do is protect yourself, right? Stay out when the mosquitoes are most prevalent. Stay out of the outdoors during that time. Or if you have to be out, you wear long clothing, you wear mosquito spray, you do things to take care of yourself.
And
Nothing
spray your
that we-
yards along with it. Assist in that.
Get rid of the excess water. There's all these things that we can do to help ourselves. What we're doing from a mass perspective is trying to, when they are active, go out and about and reduce the population to the extent practical based on the means that we have. It's not perfect. We have limitations. The temperature has to be above 55 degrees. Wind 10 speed, wind speed 10 mile an hour or less. And the whole idea is that mist has to float across the air and come in contact with that flying insect at that time. So just thought I would give you a little update because there is a concern out there and we're aware of it.
And how often do you check the traps?
The electronic traps checking all the
Right.
time, right there, and then daily on the others. Does a day get missed if somebody's not here? Yes, but for the most part, they're trapped. You're looking at them and seeing what's going on. And they're throughout town, so we're looking at, in some cases, the population may be low here, but it's still high over there. And then we try and do a ground spraying over there in the morning or when we can do what we can do.
That's your question.
more than I expected.
Okay, okay, you got the engineer
I
answer.
know. All I wanted to know was one answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
With streets, we're still doing some striping out on the roadways and doing some final repair work and things like that. Get things ready for the fall, and we have to work through winter. I think everybody saw the striping that's out on College Drive.
Yeah.
That is temporary striping right now. It is painted on striping. Next year, once we get through a winter and that surface course takes a little bit of abuse with snow removal equipment, then next year will be the permanent inlaid ground in tape.
Looks good.
It's not as intrusive as I thought it was gonna be.
Oh, it is when you can't get people to go 30 mile an hour and you want
It's
to
something
pass
you
them.
just have to get
It's
used to. I
new.
mean, it's new. Yeah.
It'll be fine. I can complain, but it'll be fine.
God doesn't do that.
It will be fine,
I
Eric.
will complain.
I thought it was
Eric
fine.
can
I thought it was
complain, but
great.
it'll be
I think
fine.
It looks great.
Yeah, it's all about crashes.
We'll see how
Now,
it
just
looks.
for clarification, because I did get this question, I don't know if you call them lanes, but on the outside, that's not a bike path, right?
It's not striped as a bike lane at this point.
Somebody asked me that and I said, no, I don't think it's supposed to be that, but I will find out.
No, we have an edge line there. The idea is that can be used for snow storage. So, in the wintertime. We had to narrow the lanes up because we had some excess space to accommodate the road diet that was put in place. Commissioner Pierce, if you do get behind somebody that's driving 20 miles an hour and not 30 miles an hour, and you have to follow them all the way from Highway 2 to Highway 19, it will add 38 seconds to your travel time.
That's too much.
Okay,
How about from College Drive to Highway 2 to Highway 20?
College
Okay.
Drive.
I'm just-
College Drive is Highway 20.
Yes.
But then the north side, we did not change.
Okay. Oh, you're good. I'm good. I was
Based
just-
on all of the,
Right.
based on the traffic analysis and what you,
Yeah, it's good. I
read
was
in the
just being
books.
facetious. I got you.
And the stoplights are working?
the stoplights are working. I was just visiting, there's an adjustment that has to be made on some of the timing for the pedestrian, the flashers, the
Oh, yeah.
the rectangular
I've seen
rapid
that.
flashers.
Yeah.
They were set when the contractor was here, but when we did the math on it, they have to be set a little bit longer.
Oh.
And so we're in the process of getting those set and adjusted. I think it's going to be a much safer area, especially in those school zones and
Yep.
the crossing.
I believe
And the
that.
lights will flash when they're needed, rather than flashing when they're not necessarily needed, and people becoming acclimated to it. When these things flash, you'll know. So hopefully that all works out very well.
So you're not ticketed until they're flashing, right? Even though you got this, or what's the,
Still a
pedestrian
school
one.
zone.
in the school zone from a certain time, or is just,
So the
Only when the
school
lights are
zone
flashing.
will still be a school zone during a period of time.
just
So
during the
those
flash?
lights will flash. Those
That's when
advanced
you
warning-
gotta be at the 20 mile an hour.
But you took those off of 13th Street West,
Correct.
and that's
Okay.
just,
So
that's just a pedestrian crossing.
Right,
There you have to yield traffic when the pedestrian's in the crossing.
correct. Just want to make sure, because when you hit that 20 zone, because it flashes, you're 20 miles an hour, it tells you your speed. Is that when it starts?
But that's over by Mini H.
Yeah.
Right.
So within the school zone, we have the signs and the beacons and the speed that start the school zone.
I haven't
And
seen the
when that's-
flashing lights yet, so.
Yeah, so the school zone, when the school zone is active for that
Yep.
period of time, then the radar sign will know that now we're in a school time. And so it'll let you know you're going above 20.
Okay,
When it's 30 and you're not in the school zone anymore because the lights are not flashing, then it'll be 30 mile an hour.
okay,
So it'll reduce, if things are working right,
okay,
that's the interaction there.
What a nice-
The overhead mast arm will only flash when people are crossing, the button is pushed.
okay,
But the advanced school zone will still be there, letting people know.
perfect.
The idea behind that and the concept behind that is that it really draws attention to that crosswalk
Right,
and people that are utilizing the crosswalk at that time.
Fiber lane is the same as 13th Street Northwest area.
Correct. Activated
That's
when
not-
the button is pushed.
Right. That's a good, it's not a school zone that area, but it is a crosswalk.
sure.
It's nice to have them anyhow. Because a lot of kids actually cross the street there randomly.
Yeah, we've heard good things about that crossing and school hasn't started yet. because there's a lot of people that live on the north end and nobody's walking out of their way to go down to Sweetwater to cross to go back north. That's just human nature.
Yeah.
So we're able to get that crossing. That's all I have.
Yeah, I was unable to attend the library meeting last Thursday, so I don't have an update there, but
Okay.
that's, I think, right.
Okay. Mr. Hatch.
Dominic, I'm not gonna forget you.
You're first.
As Nate said, we're having the triennial coming up next Tuesday. We're still actively looking for volunteers. And it wouldn't be due diligence to ask if the city commission would like to come out. We would happily have you guys come out, be volunteers in our aircraft crash simulation exercise, just so you guys get to see what exactly we do. And what is in case of a scenario, God forbid, of something like that happen. In other news, we are going to be getting a backup ARF truck used from Pierre, South Dakota, which will cost us nothing except for us to get it up here. Other than that, planes are landing, so
Continue to do that, I hope.
that's my big hope. Is there any questions from?
I have nothing.
Nothing. Sounds
I
great.
I should also say the triennial will be, on, like I said, Tuesday. All of the information's on our Facebook page. It has my numbers on it, the emails on it. Just give me a call if you're interested, or an email if you guys are interested.
I think it would just be, if you can give just a quick update as far as what it means for what's in our control, right, with our regard to our service to Denver, right? I know that our neighbors 90 miles to the east are looking at the direct flight and everything, and so people probably read that in the newspaper. What does that mean for Devil's Lake? We've had some email conversations. I think if you give the update you gave me, basically the commission would be,
Yeah.
it's a public information.
Yeah,
Just
of
I would
course.
say.
So basically, if you haven't heard, Grand Forks is actively pursuing getting a route to Denver. The best thing I can say to the commission is that more than likely, they might get it, they might not. It's kind of up in the air to SkyWest, but there's nothing really to be scared of, because the money, once they raise it and it goes, SkyWest is going to pull out. It could be a year, it could be 2 years that they're there, but they're going to pull out. Which is what really helps us here in Devil's Lake is this Central Air Service, which they help fund us with their air travel to Denver. Grand Forks is not eligible for that because they have to fly to Minnesota, to Arizona, I think to Florida also. I'm not 100% sure. Talking to Ryan Ryan over at Grand Forks, he's the executive director. He has the same opinions as I do. The second that they get it, probably in a year or two, they're going to lose it immediately. So it's going to bring the numbers down a little bit for the time being, but then once the flight's gone and the money dries up, it'll be just right back to probably normal.
We got a lot of incentives that they don't offer though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Free parking, and Grand Forks, they actually have a passenger facility charge, which if the airport gets over 10,000 enplanements, you can add a $4.50 charge, which goes to the airport for improvement projects. Another thing is the free Wi-Fi, very easy access to TSA. There's just a lot of incentives where I know a lot of people from Grand Forks, even with the Jamestown Lake back then, they would prefer to fly out of Devil's Lake than Grand Forks, because it's just easier and cheaper to fly out of Devil's Lake.
Perfect.
I think it's just important, just because we have nice things doesn't mean other people can't have nice things, right? But I think it's just important that we understand what it means for us, those conversations. And so it's something we'll continue to monitor. And you know what, competition is good. We're going to work to be the best that we can be. And we know that Dominic, the airport authority, will, and we'll keep everybody posted. I mean, I suppose anything that we learn always just comes from the Herald anyways. So
Sure.
But we're aware.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Anything else? That's it?
If there's no other questions, then I don't have anything else.
Okay, thanks, Dominic. Mike, sanitation?
Nothing for sanitation tonight, Commissioner, but in engineering, we're submitting a grant to the North Dakota Department of Transportation, trying to secure some funding to help with the improvement of the roadways out in the industrial park. We had submitted that grant in the past. We weren't successful. But we're resubmitting that, to improve the roadways out there for reconstruction. They're in poor condition. We all know they're in poor condition. But those roadways are big. They have to handle, heavy traffic. And so the estimate to redo those roadways is north of $2 million. So we're looking to secure grant funding through the state to help with those improvements. If we're successful in getting the grant, then we may have to adjust our infrastructure planning to accommodate timelines associated with the grant. But we submit every year and we'll see what happens with it.
Great.
Does it help that DOT's out there at all? I mean, I know you would think that would be an incentive for the state to agree to the grant, being that their DOT is using a portion of that ground.
That may be why 5 years ago, we were able to improve a portion of Schwann Avenue that went in front of the Department of Transportation back then. We were able to extend it south to pick up a couple of local businesses as well. That roadway improvement from 5 years ago went just south of Gessner Ironworks. And so I was able to help Gessner as well as across the street. So we did that improvement. I would have liked to seen it gone all the way to the end, but at that time we didn't have the funding to do that. And so we're trying to secure that funding so we can improve Kelly Avenue, a portion of Summer Street, as well as Schwann. So we'll see where that takes us. We had a couple of pre-construction meetings with contractors, one for our citywide chip seal project that we're working on. It looks like that project's not going to start until after Labor Day. And then we had a pre-construction meeting with the contractor that's going to be paving the Midco Road, 14th Street Northeast, as well as 14th Avenue. Right now, the plan is that that work will occur in the middle of September. And then we still have our contractor doing roadway work in town. They'll be back, and then we'll finish up our citywide area mill and overlay work, as well as downtown alleys and downtown parking lots. We have a lot of work that has happened yet in the next month and a half.
So the road by my house on 14th, right by Prairie View, they dug up, and then they filled in, but it surely does. You can tell a car drives by there at a high rate of speed. It slows traffic down, so that there's an advantage to it. But is there a timeline as to when they're thinking they're going to be able to? You guys involved in that at all?
We are. That's so the sewer had to get was tied in for the Prairie View addition. That contractor has scheduled a contractor to make those repairs, and they'll be making those repairs. It's the same contractor that the city is using doing our work. So once they're back completing our work, that roadway will be improved. We'll just have to stay on top of it if there gets to be some potholes and traffic calming.
Well, it's traffic calming. Right.
Holes in that area. We'll try and do what we can to maintain.
Thank you.
That's all I have for engineering, unless you have questions related to any projects.
That's it. Rob.
Had State Board of Equalization meeting last week down in Bismarck. We got through it without any issues, so that's kind of the last big hurrah for me for the year. Now it's just continuing to grind on evaluations and working on that stuff for next year. So, but that's all I've got, unless you have any questions of me.
Anybody else have anything for him? No, thank you. Commissioner Kanowski. Chief? Yeah. Yeah.
Mike, streets and sewer, or not sewer and water.
Nothing in utilities specific to talk about tonight, unless you have questions.
No, I got nothing.
Good enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. Chief,
School starts tomorrow.
hey, good deal. Drive slow.
Yeah, we're gonna be, out in force, and the schools are always a priority. So all the elementary schools, we have SRO Dallas will be at the high school, and SRO Sheen will be at the in school. I think one thing that Director Aratano said or did not say is that Kanowski wants to join us for this victim thing. It starts at 10:30. It's 10:30 to 11:30. This triennial exercise.
Oh,
Next Tuesday.
Oh.
So
he's never had experience of doing any
I've
of that
never
stuff,
done any
right?
of
I think he could probably be a good witness, maybe.
You could be a good crash dummy.
Yeah.
You'd be good at it.
That's good.
So other than that, we had our SRO meeting today with our SROs, to make sure
Okay.
they're on the same page. And,
Yep.
everything was going pretty smooth as far as that program. And again, this would be our second year in a row with the same two SROs in the school system. So that's a plus, and some consistency. And then other than that, I think everyone's on par, unless you have any questions.
Anybody got questions? Okay, thanks, Chief. Spencer?
Just real quick, and then I'll talk about the agenda items. Went to city manager conference, so I wasn't here at the last meeting. I did mix work and play, so I was working and on vacation at the
Enjoying?
same time. I was enjoying it. Thank you, Mayor. But I think it really is going there just a little bit of a sanity check to say, hey, everybody's dealing with a lot of the same issues. You go out there, you got city managers from basically the upper Midwest, and it's, dealing with homelessness in downtown, the urban areas, right? That's an issue. Other states have done things with property taxes, and the cities are trying to reconcile, okay, well, what can we levy this year, all that sort of stuff. And so really, I think one of the takeaways I took was North Dakota is a pretty well-run state relative to the area. And so I think we can, mix some of the chaos and whatnot. I think we can reflect on that. And then did some case study work where you're given a profile of community and a development type of thing, and you go into a negotiation, but they put you on the other side of the table so that you understand what it's like to negotiate with the city, right? So you can try and have a perspective of all of that. Right? So it was really good thing to, and I learned a lot. As far as items here, the city parking lot development concept and potential. So over the past year, the city, Mayor, you were involved in the initial conversation, and Rob is a commissioner on the senior meals board about, a developer that has some interest in doing a project with the city downtown across the street there from the post office. I think the map, I should see you guys, showed you guys there the map on that city-owned parking lot, and trying to find some sort of a public-private partnership there. Basically, the city owns that whole block, and they've engaged some members of the city, and then we've had a couple conversations with the senior meals board with the developer. We're kind of at the stage where, hey, there could be a path here, and there could be a possibility here, and so wanted to bring this to you guys' attention as at a future meeting. We're going to have the developer come here, probably maybe even on September 2nd, have come, and then possibly work with the city attorney on some sort of a letter of intent to basically, a non-binding letter of intent to kind of symbolize, hey, we're going to try and work this out on the finer details. We're kind of got to the point where, okay, we really got to crush the numbers and get our hands dirty on the details a little bit. But Mayor, you and I, we're going to have a meeting with the Senior Meals Board this week, again, just to talk about, okay, we're going to go all through this process. We're going to engage the city commission, approve a letter of intent, and what does that look like moving forward? As the city owns the Senior Meals building, and there's a kind of a concept of development that with the garage space and the senior center, possibly child care space as well, and some sort of a mixed use development in that area. So that's coming. The city's way. I want to give you guys a heads up on that. Commissioner Hash, you've been involved on the Senior Meals Board, so you've probably had about 2 or 3 conversations with them. Do you have any? I turn it over to you and the mayor if you guys have anything else to add. Otherwise, I just more of an informational thing for you guys.
I just think it's an opportunity that we don't want to pass up, but we got to get all the details. But it's, do any kind of development we can do downtown that's new development to improve our downtown is an opportunity that you don't get many of. And so if you got somebody that wants to invest in our community, the least we got to do is listen and see what they have to say and what it's going to cost. Give them the opportunity to.
So the name, the name of Stride Development, I might put the one pager on there, give you a summary of it. And they're doing a project. They're just working on a project in Jamestown right now.
So, but I hope that he'll come here and then give us a total layout of the project and what the intent is and things of that nature. But I think it's an opportunity that we don't want to pass up if we get it. But we got to learn a whole lot.
It can't be. I don't believe it can be. Want to walk away from it. It's just too good.
So what we know of it at this point, it's exciting, but what we got to learn more. So
yeah. So this is just a heads up, right?
Yep.
Informational, something being discussed.
Yep.
And then at the next meeting, could possibly have a letter of intent before you
Sure.
signify that work on it. Because, we're gonna do all the costs associated with the due diligence, kind of a threshold to say, hey, we're committed to this, finding the answers.
Right.
And getting the information.
And knowing what they're asking of the city and things of that nature, so.
Yeah, and see what kind of building they're looking at, why it's there and their intent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Till that time, I suppose, then I'll hold my questions till that time.
Okay.
Other piece of it is request for qualifications for treasury management services. So I think the memo kind of speaks for itself, but we've got to name a depositor on January 1, 2026, or well, the first meeting in January for the city. And Bremer Bank is being transitioned over to Old National Bank. So all of our banking information is going to change. It's going to change in like October. And so if we do a request for qualifications, the last thing I really want to do administratively is have our banking information change in October. And then we do a request for proposals in November, we get an answer in December, and then we have to change our banking information again in January if there's a really much better deal out there. So really trying to just expedite the process. And I've informally kind of alerted all the local banks in town. Bremer knows that we're going to do this. Western and First United and the other banks will send, I'll email them this RFQ contingent upon your approval, but just requesting your approval so that we can put these things in order, but just a little bit earlier.
What's the wishes of the commission?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Pierce,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Okay, any further discussion? We'll do roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hatch.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
President Moore.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, now we'll go into old business, and on that, it starts out with the 2026 budget and on the general fund. And Rob and I have had the opportunity to sit down with our finance director, Spencer, and we had to talk about some things. We do have, we're looking at like $120,000 deficit for the budget this year. And in an effort for the commission to consider, we'd like to talk about a few things. There's some options that we can look at. It's useful max cap of property tax levy permitted by the North Dakota Century Code. Raise sales tax percentage allocated to the general fund from 42.75% to 44%. This is the maximum sales tax percentage that can be dedicated from the general to the general fund. And there's no idea how much that would generate, for one thing. And then we could also possibly reduce the transfer for the general fund to the police department equipment reserve from 25 to 15 or 10,000. Review the financial support to the outside organizations as we have kind of discussed, such as Lake Region Heritage Center, Senior Center and Veterans Rides, Homeless Shelter, Mid-State Volunteer Program, the Rodeo, Fireworks, the Lake Region UAS team, and the Lake Region Anglers. We could take that money and move that to a different account so that could be distributed from there. So I guess we'd like to open up some discussion as what would be best meet the needs. Some of the things that Rob and I looked at when we were talking with Spencer is the homeless shelter gets 10,000. We're not picking on them, but that, we had to look at what our concerns were with what's going on in downtown too. And, some of the things that have been happening, is that the project that we want to continue to fund? Another one was maybe reducing the rodeo for 50%, since they're starting to make some money and they're generating some income, and also giving some money away. Not that we want to penalize them, but now that we're in kind of a tighter budget because of the legislative requirements. And the fireworks, possibly doing away with that with the 23,000 and counting on everybody to donate. And I know that it's been done before. Fireworks, you can generate the money through donations, very easy. It just takes some effort. The Lake Region UAS team, cut that out. Those are the suggestions that we need to talk about and what would best meet the needs. And Spencer, have you got anything you wanted to add to that?
This is just, so we have a $120,000 hole, as the mayor said. And, Mayor, talking to you, you're pretty adamant we should get this thing balanced this year.
Yep.
Because we're gonna have long-term issues, but we can get, by making some strategic decisions, we can get by with it this year, right? And then we'll have to have, even harder discussion later on. But, you know, the revenue raising piece without, so you have options, raise revenue, cut expenses. Okay, raising revenue options, and we've kind of padded the general fund the best we can, using the max sales tax, using the maximum property tax. Your revenue raising alternatives is you could explore raising the cap on the sale, or raising the cap on the sales tax being, when you go and you go buy something expensive, you only have to pay the sales tax in the first $35.
Yeah.
Or the first $1,400, which is $35 in the sales tax. You could raise that from 35 to 70. You could double it to 70. And most communities are higher than 35. So you could explore changing that via ordinance by the commission. It's going to be almost impossible to tell you how much extra that's going to raise, but it would be something. Franchise fees is something that we've discussed. Those are revenue on natural gas and electricity. Those are things that communities had conversations in the past, elected not to pursue those. Or it's, cut expenses. And these are the contributions to outside organizations that don't have to deal with the daily execution of city operations. And I think, through the sales tax referendum process and everything, I think we as staff demonstrated that the majority of the the majority of the spending that's going to fix the general fund problems on the public safety side. The engineering department makes money. We have one city assessor. We have one building official. The auditing department, we have one of each. I'm doing dual role as the director of the finance and city administrator. And the utilities are paying for about 30% of the auditing department. So we're always going to try and be more efficient, but as far as the personnel things, we've got one everything on the staff side. So it's really on the public safety side. And so it's cutting public safety, or it's looking at the support to outside organizations and these non-city operational things. And so everything comes with trade-offs. Cutting's not fun. But if we're going to try to get to a balanced budget, it's kind of raise revenue or cut expenses. And on the cutting expenses side, it's the outside org support or it's public safety, really.
Where's that other 1.25% for the sales tax percentage allocated? Where would that be taken?
So good question. I took that out of one of the bond funds, 5476. I think I included it on there. I tried to include all the funds that were affected, and 5476 was a bond fund. And we're still on a surplus on that yearly expense.
So the increase in sales tax to 44% for that?
We went to 44%, or at least what's in your packet.
Right. So what would so if you took that number and generated that from the last couple of years?
It's kind of unknown. You don't know what they'll generate.
I know, but in the past.
So the budget is 2% on 2024's actuals. So I took 2024 actuals and I multiplied that by 2%, and a 2% increase.
Yeah.
And so that's, I want to say it's like $48,000 maybe. I think I have it.
It says 55,000.
Oh, the extra 1.25. Yeah, it's $55,000 total.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So that would we take as a general.
It's a budget. Yeah.
So if you cut those, all those, companies that, that's what you're going to save. So we cut all those contributions.
Let's say 55.
Let's say $55,000.
Mm-hmm.
So if you did both, it'd probably get us close to where we need to be.
Yeah. So I got the math laid out there. So putting the max sales tax, so you're $120,000 in the red. 50. You put the sales tax in there, that's $55,000. Reduce the transfer to the police department equipment reserve by $10,000. So there's $65,000. And so in total, there's $136,000 to support outside organizations. And if you cut $55,000 of it, you're going to have a balanced budget.
Go into more detail. Just for that full cap property tax levy, what all does that?
So what we did is 3% increase on the dollars to the library, 3% increase on the dollars to the airport.
Okay.
We had the same exact funding to the cemetery.
Yeah.
The Jobs Development Authority, we gave them a 3% increase plus whatever was gonna go to the cemetery. And then the max we could go from there, we put it all in general.
Just had to get that straight in my head.
No, that's a great question. And so,
These are hard decisions, but it's,
and,
they gotta be made.
And there's gonna be probably repercussions. I mean, people are gonna come in and
Yeah.
say, hey,
What are
you know,
gonna
we
do
can't.
though?
Huh?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
I know.
I see one, I know one I think fireworks, it's a lot of money.
That's what
But I remember last time they didn't have fireworks and this city went, pardon my French, but went ape shit.
But-
And I get it. And
Yeah.
I know it's one of those things we have to
Yeah.
decide on.
Right.
I'm just making that point that that's one of
Sure.
the things we hear repercussions
Well, I
from.
think we're gonna hear, homeless shelter is probably gonna be a
Yeah.
concern also.
Yep. And the UAS team, I know
Yeah.
that's gonna be, but
Yeah.
like I said, we're asked to make these decisions.
I think, and if I could just add 2 points before you guys continue the discussion. When I met with the mayor and the commissioner, the vice president, coming forward with a recommendation to start from, right? We wanted to avoid all right, here's the 136, what do you guys,
Mhm.
right? So at least a starting point to amend from.
Yeah.
In the interest is to get the conversation going. If there's an interest to even go down this road or look at other places, look at other things. But if you look at like the rodeo, I'm just thinking about the things that we weren't even doing before I got here, right? We started doing the rodeo then. The UAS team the first year was 2023.
Mhm.
And then, fireworks, I think that was like 2022 was like the first year that it came back.
No, it's been going for
Or
a
was
few
it
years.
2021? I know it was like,
What is it that expensive though?
No, it's gone up each year.
Yeah, every year it goes up.
and then the anglers, that's for the infrastructure on the lake type of stuff. It's kind of jumped into the lake is the economic driver for the community. And so
Right.
economic development is a proposal that I moved there.
Mhm.
And so that'll free up to 55,000. That's all I'll leave you guys.
It does make sense. I mean,
So you're saying that, that although if we did these things, in due time, that would get our answer for this year, but you're saying in the future, this may not be the answer.
Long term.
Yeah.
When you've got a community, like, we did the 2010 versus 2025.
Yeah.
How we had 16 officers then, and we had 20, and we had 5 and 7. Like, the math just doesn't work out long term, given what our increases in property taxes can be projected without large growth in the community. And then we can't put any more sales tax into it. And so when, health insurance is going up, and remember when I kind of showed you that table of, hey, let's take state aid, sales tax, property tax, utility, let's say that they all increase 2%. Now let's do 2% cost of living and 5% on health insurance. We're $7,000 underwater just on those basic decisions. So there's a fixed revenue and a fixed expense issue long term.
Yeah.
But this will get us to a balanced budget this year.
Then next year, we got 2 years, we got to live with this.
Right. Do you see that in the future that they may remedy this?
They're gonna be working on it. You bet they will. The other cities are gonna find out
Right.
that I think some of them are already having issues.
Right, I heard.
And if there was an easy answer, trust me, I would have hit the easy button.
Right.
But really, without taking cops off the streets or firefighters out of the station, I don't see another way that this thing gets balanced without raising revenue via franchise fees or changing the cap on the sales tax. I just don't.
I've been looking myself through the proposed budget for next year.
Mm-hmm.
And, I look at things like stupid things. I'll look at cell phones. How many cell phones do we have? And we
Mhm.
really need to have that many cell
Yeah.
phones. Things of that nature. I know it's not a lot of money,
Well, every little bit adds up.
but I start looking at all these little things and
Mhm.
it didn't even add up close to.
No.
So,
And those little things sometimes are the most important things too, though.
looking at,
I
printing
do, I know I
supplies, all
did
that
bring up,
crap.
vehicles, we spend a lot of money on vehicles. We may have to consider that down the road, you know,
Yeah.
try to get by longer. I know when I was working there, I used a game and fish vehicle, so we used from the state, but
We're gonna have to
we
try-
do have to have some reliable ones. We have people going out of town. There's no doubt about that, but I think we do try to hand them down a little bit so that there's always a good one, but it's just something we gotta consider. I mean, those are getting out of hand too, you know? When you're paying 60,000, one vehicle would offset that cost right there, you know? Yeah. So those are some issues that we,
So are we making a decision today, or what are we doing?
I think we have to approve this, but we can, you know, we don't
So-
have to vote on it finally until October.
So,
meeting.
right, so you don't need to make a decision until October 6th. That's when the final budget's gonna be
Right.
approved. And, you know, Mayor, I kind of told you, right? You
Yep.
might get some of this, well, nobody told us these cuts were coming.
Right, we did
But
that.
we don't want, you know, we need to get a consensus as to where the commission is at.
Correct.
Because the idea was this, you know, we're gonna present this first draft here, and we need to get the commission's feedback on whether or not this is kind of the direction we want to go with. Number one, balancing the budget this year, and if we're gonna do it, are we gonna do it via raising revenue through other means, or are we gonna do it through cuts? And if we're gonna do it through cuts, are we gonna do it on the public safety side or the support to outside organizations?
And then we need to let them know that we're doing it too, give them a heads up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I didn't call the organization and say, hey, we're considering cutting.
No.
Because we don't even know if the rest of the commission's on board with it.
Right.
And so,
We haven't
Well,
decided that
The
yet.
sad part is we all knew this stuff was coming when we heard what the legislature was doing. There's no, you know, and then we as a commission, prior to, you know, Joe and Lisa coming on, made the choice to give that money to get
Yeah.
the quality of life improvement
And,
stuff in
and
town.
I believe that
We
was a good
did,
choice.
yes, you know,
Yeah.
so
Mhm. Yep.
we're gonna have to make cuts, but, yeah.
and I think it's want to make it about the city has money, but at least in the general fund piece of it, with all the regulations,
Yep.
we're not able to bring enough in operational rates. So if we don't address it over time, we're gonna have a big problem.
Mhm.
Is that something that you see, like, and is that managed or mandated by the state, or what? Can we?
So, yeah, so I'll just go through the big revenue sources. So the property tax is capped by the state now. The sales tax, our ordinance has given all the reasons we've gone to the voters for sales tax. The max we can put in the general fund is 44%. You could go to the voters and say, hey, can we amend the purposes of the sales tax, put more in? But we put a lot towards infrastructure, we put some towards economic development. If you feel like you're getting a good return on investment, do you want to really move from there? It's up to you guys. State aid, that's fixed by the state, that's determined by the state, however, you know, the oil and gas and the motor vehicle stuff goes. The utility revenue, you take 20% of all the utility revenue that you earn, sanitation, water and sewer, and you take 20% of that and you put it in general fund. So whatever that revenue source is, that's what it is. And then the other major one is engineering projects. So, you know, I mean, it's a little, the more engineering that the engineering department does on big projects that are very expensive, the better the general fund does. It's kind of backwards like that, but it's much better than the alternative for us paying an engineering firm with the sales tax money and not having anything come into the general.
Right.
So it's much better to have it in-house, and it's much cheaper.
Mhm.
Thank you, Mike. And so, you know, because I keep talking about the general fund and you have the administrative piece, where people think city hall and all that sort of stuff, and you have public safety.
Mhm.
I think I tried to demonstrate that on the office side, you're pretty lean. And even one of the biggest department pays for it. So. That's not to say, you know, water, sewer, streets, or water, sewer, and sanitation, those funds perform well. Our other funds do perform well. It's the general fund, which is the public safety predominantly.
Yeah.
And we do want to do some capital improvements with the police department too, you know, so.
But that doesn't come out of the general.
No.
Right. personally like this plan. I mean, although I don't like it, I understand the necessity of it. Whether or not we need to make a decision on it tonight, I don't know, but
We just got, do we need a decision or vote on it, or just to authorize you to move ahead with it as this?
I think I need a consensus from the commission if this is the direction that you guys want
Yeah.
to go. But there's a time from now, and it's October 6th. Right?
Yeah.
So
Change our
I
mind.
anticipate there would be some public comment. I would
Mhm.
anticipate that. Because, and I did talk with Brenda from the shelter. She forwarded an email. I told her to contact the commissioners if she had questions and wanted to tell her story, all that sort of stuff. But you don't need to approve the budget until October 6th.
Right.
And I think that's the other thing too, I want to tell you, right? There's 3 more meetings before this thing is approved, but we need to get some.
Give you some direction.
I'll make a motion to proceed, with what is presented here for the general fund. Understanding that things may change.
Okay. Commissioner Pierce
I'll second that.
and Commissioner Kanowski. Okay. Any further discussion?
So this, why not change the amount through the ordinance of what we could put in the general fund? I mean, why don't we try to change that? From
So-
34% to like,
So those were amendments, I'll have to double check it, but I think I have this right. The sales taxes were amendments to the home rule charter. So if you want to change the home rule charter, you have to go to the citizens of Devils Lake,
Has to be voted on.
right? So you could say, hey, we're going to change the purpose of the
Yeah.
sales tax, but you're going to be,
still gotta get voted on.
still has to go for an election,
Gotcha. Right.
if I'm reading that right.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 2, North Dakota PERS, Public Safety Plan for Fire Department. Hi, Susie.
Members of
yeah.
the commission, we had talked about potential transition of the fire department employees into the ND PERS public safety plan. Did some due diligence on that. It looks like it is doable. Talked to ND PERS and they said that it would be the without prior service and the employer contribution would be the same as it is for the police department, and it would actually go down. Now, when we first entered into agreement with the public safety plan, it was kind of a one-time thing, but at that time, firefighters were not eligible to go into that until 2017. And then now firefighters are eligible, so we can now add them. But once we do, we cannot change it. Once we do the police officer, we could not change it. Now, had firefighters been able to, and we chose not to, we would not be able to add them. Since it wasn't available, we can't. And honestly, I think it looks like it could be a relatively quick process. So long as there's not huge opposition, we will pursue that route.
Speaking with Chief Bennett, it's something that he would really like to happen, just with the fact that early retirement possibilities, with what they inhale and everything at these fires, for them to not have to work that, to have a little extra time with their families and retire early is a great,
Well, that business is not for an old guy anyhow, as we all know. It's
so
when you get to 55 or 60, you should be done
So you should have retired earlier.
a long time ago. Oh, you gotta love them.
And then right now, they're probably in a defined benefit or a defined contribution as opposed to defined benefit. And that's the good part about law enforcement retirement or
Yeah.
the first responder is that it's a defined benefit
Yeah.
as opposed to the money you put in. They're
Yeah.
guaranteed a return.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to approve the moving of the fire department to the
Commissioner Pierce,
Indy PERS.
No second.
Commissioner Hatch. Okay, any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
President Moore.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, the police department relocation, city hall remodel due diligence.
At a mayor and one member of the commission at a previous meeting, we told you that you guys had requested that we continue our due diligence efforts with the PD relocation, despite the sales tax referendum outcome. And so just wanted to give you an update as to how city staff is going about getting you the information so you can make an informed decision. So engaging with architect, and basically there's kind of 4, we'll say locations or kind of models of building, right? So you can do new and greenfield. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have an architect look at the space is just north of the ambulance service. It's a greenfield that the city owns. Okay, what would it cost like building this department there? And that should be pretty easy to figure out. It's kind of a square footage calculation. Build new in an urban setting. So the city owns the parking lot just across from Brummer Bay. Again, what would it take to build a new police department in that setting to meet our needs? Renovate existing downtown building. I think it's pretty much no secret now. We would look at the Turner Law Office building. So going to take a look at that and say, hey, what would it take to make this a quality police department? And then, as we've talked about before, the Western Equipment Finance building has been advertised. And we've had a couple of loose conversations with them just on a high level, Mayor. And so going to kind of have those 4 options: build new greenfield, build new urban setting, renovate existing building downtown, and then purchase and renovate existing building on highway commercial. Now, I'm not saying that those are our only 4 options, but in general, it's going to give us an idea on cost in those 4 environments. And so then we'll provide you guys the numbers in the windows. We'll provide you a potential funding plan and go from there. And then the other part of it is the city hall, which we can talk about after you guys have any questions on the police department piece of this. Just want to give you an update on that. Mike, am I missing anything? Sir. Okay. Mayor, am I missing anything?
Nope.
Okay. Any questions?
Well, I don't have any questions, but I probably have a statement, I guess. I mean, it does smell kind of bad after we're talking about cutting all this money from the general fund, and then now you're building something, and it's, I mean, I understand. So you're going to talk to us about the funding aspect of it all, right?
I think it goes back to remember when I said we're going to have to be really good communicators on this.
Yeah.
Because the funds are different. The
Right.
fund's purpose are different. Our ordinances are restricted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, and it
I'm
doesn't
not-
change the
Like
fact.
you said, it comes out of a different fund.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it at all.
Yeah.
We use sales tax to fund our infrastructure funds.
Yeah.
We can only put 44% of them in the general fund.
Correct.
We are proposing doing that.
Correct.
We couldn't take this money and put it in the general fund if we wanted to,
Right.
without going to the voters to ask to do that.
Correct.
I would add that doing that also doesn't fix the circumstances and long-term situation that the police department is in. With the prospect of our operational costs doubling as part of a new LEC, given initial estimates, our PD possibly relocating to a less strategic location in town.
It costs us less.
Right, with our own building.
Right.
In the long term.
Yeah.
And if we moved and we spent, we'll say 3 to 4 million, and it saves that whole project 10 million. Okay, is that, that's more than 100% return on your investment. And so, we talked about the Western Equipment Finance Fund. That really doesn't work without it being kind of a partner agency location. We did have a conversation on that, and it didn't turn out. They didn't get any traction, we'll say. That doesn't say it couldn't in the future under the right circumstances. But this has nothing to do against the LEC. I'll make the statement where no one, at least, Mayor, we haven't given any indication that you'd like to see us leave the joint powers agreement.
No, we're not leaving
We're
the joint
committed to
powers.
the operations of that building, just as far as our relationship as a tenant in the building.
Mhm.
It could be in the interest of the city to look at its options. That's what we're doing.
I just say, and I know you know this, but be ready for, if we do something outside of the downtown area, it's going to be thrown back in the face. That we
Absolutely.
wanted it to be downtown.
Totally
and now
agree.
It's not, so we will get some,
Well, that was,
some blowback.
I agree with you 100% on that.
And then Commissioner Christina, that's a great, that's a kind of a great thing, the great point is because if that building, and as we told Wes, it works if it's a partner agency, right? If it's a collection of multiple stuff.
I got you.
And it would be huge cost savings, really, on the price per square foot probably is the best you're gonna find of all these options. But, as we kind of told Western on a high level, price isn't the only factor. Location is important. And the commission is the one that's gonna make the judgment call.
Yeah, you're right. That was.
Mhm.
Just wanted to say that. I wouldn't, Didn't want to let that go. without
No,
saying.
I agree. And no,
Appreciate
we
it.
mentioned that even at the meeting. So how important it was to be in the downtown.
All right.
So do we want
That was an informational
Just an
update, and
informational?
seeking feedback if you guys have any or
Okay.
questions or something you want us to look at that we're not.
to, okay, any more questions? Okay,
And then the other piece of this is the city hall.
Oh.
Just so seeking your guys' authorization to engage an architectural firm to look and see what a two-phase approach to some sort of a remodel of this building. A low-phase remodel, right? Different carpet, paint, minor reorientations of the office space, ADA compliance, some security enhancements, the city commission chambers, the audio and visual in here, as well as the furniture and whatnot. And so nothing catastrophic and major, but if we did it in 2 phases, it could probably, we have that 500 on hand, we could probably do phase 1 and then work to build up to phase 2 over time. And so want to do the due diligence on that to give you guys some ideas on what it would take to get that stuff done in a good and professional manner. So seeking your authorization to do that.
Make a motion to authorize.
Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
President.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, consent agenda, and there's nothing. New business, second reading of ordinance 1019, chapter 973, tobacco, electronic smoking devices, alternate nicotine products. Jason, I guess it's your turn.
This is a revision to chapter 9.73. What it's actually doing is it's combining all things nicotine. Tobacco itself, all the different ways this substance is used in our contemporary society and specifically how it relates to minors. But what it's doing is it's combining existing chapter on tobacco and combining it with the vaping that's currently in chapter 9.74. This is going to bring the ordinance into compliance with state law. Thank Chief Toso, the principal drafter of this ordinance. Recommend adoption of it.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the tobacco ordinance, chapter 973.
Commissioner Kanowski,
I'll second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any further discussion? No further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, second reading of ordinance 1020 on vaping.
This ordinance is going to repeal what is now chapter 9.74. You're not losing anything. Everything that was contained in that chapter 9.74 was just incorporated into the ordinance that the commission just adopted. So it's really just a housekeeping measure, repealing that unnecessary duplicative chapter. So I recommend adoption of the ordinance.
Make a motion to adopt 9.74.
Commissioner Pierce, Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 3, second reading of ordinance 1021, section 10-16-441, use of safety belts required in certain motor vehicles.
This ordinance was before the commission not that long ago, I believe it was April or March. There's one change being made, and that is to require safety belts for every person in the vehicle. As it currently reads, it's just the front seat. And of course, child restraints for those people under that category. But it doesn't require the backseat passengers to wear seat belts. State law does, requires everybody in the car wear a seat belt, so that's a very minor change, one that I think needs to be made. I recommend adoption of the ordinance.
Make a motion.
Commissioner Eulenkamp,
Second.
Commissioner Pierce. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, item 4, first reading of ordinance 1022, section 9.72.010, regulations.
This is just the first reading, as are the two that follow, so no action needs to be taken tonight. However, this curfew, the changes being made is primarily to the, first of all, there's no more age classifications. If you're 15, if you're 16, 17, it's across the board. And what this ordinance is saying is curfew's at 11 p.m. And it's not changing if it's the summer versus the school year either. So that's the recommendation based upon Chief Toso, Commissioner Pierce have been involved in that discussion. The one thing that I would ask for input from the commission on is there was discussion of having a midnight curfew. So should it be 11 p.m., should it be 12 midnight? You don't have to vote on that tonight. However, if the ordinance is going to change before the next meeting,
Anybody have strong feelings about changing it?
Right?
I think 11's late enough.
You think 11's late enough?
Yeah.
Because by the time they get them all read up, if it is enforced, they'll be in by midnight.
You can set our eyes on them quicker. Identify the troublemakers sooner. They're all running around. We'll see them earlier and then we'll see them later.
So there's no stipulations for athletics or kids?
That's still, those
That's
are
still-
exceptions that are built in. They'll still apply. Common sense applies to this for sure. School activities.
Did you say common sense?
Yeah. We have a lot of that.
Yes.
You get better later.
What?
But I think 11.
I mean, I'm an advocate for midnight, but I understand where you're coming from on the 11 o'clock, but I mean, I would.
Right, those school activities, those other things that are classwork, homework, whatever they're doing, if it's late, I know working late, a lot of times that doesn't apply to under the age of 18 unless they're only under 15. I'm not sure if they have a certain time frame there, but those exceptions are still built into that law. So we'll still follow those.
I'm good with 11.
I'm never up that late anyway.
I am not either. If they're running down my alley after 11, they're in trouble.
You know, like in the summertime, a lot of times it's about getting dark at about 11 o'clock, you know. It's like, I don't know,
Then you should be
You're-
inside.
17.9 years old, you know. You know, I don't know, but I guess, okay.
I guess we'll leave it at 11, based on the chief's recommendation. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Number 5 is first reading of ordinance 1023, 9.72.040, parental responsibility. Okay,
This is really some minor redrafting of an existing ordinance just to specify. The parents, the one held responsible, they're the one that could even potentially be exposed to criminal liability, but I think that would be rare. But in any event, it's just some rewording to say a violation of section 9.72.010, the one that was just brought before the commission. So really, just some minor rewording to make it a little more clear. It's the first reading, no action needs to be taken at this time.
any heartburn with anything here?
Why are you looking at me?
Just,
You don't have kids at home anymore.
yeah,
No, I don't.
there you go. Okay, item 6, first reading of ordinance 1024, 9.72.050, penalty and violation.
Here again, just some minor revisions. The current section provides for monetary penalty. What this is stating is also that in addition to being an infraction, we build in that the NDCC, the Century Code language, which to translate is, this is for repeat offenders, that if you get 3 or more infractions in a year, then it could be bumped up to Class B misdemeanor. We've been doing that. We did that with the minor in consumption. We've done it with past ordinances that we want to include that additional deterrent factor. Other than that, minor changes to the existing ordinance. So first reading, no action needs to be taken with this now.
Any questions on that? None being?
Thank you, Jason.
Okay,
But no, there's just Chief Toso and Pierce, Commissioner Pierce had a lot of input and help. So thank them for their involvement.
okay, thank you guys, appreciate it. All right, number 7, the opioid litigation, Purdue Pharma proposed bankruptcy plan and settlement and nationwide settlement agreements. Is that you, Spencer?
Just 2 settlement agreements related to the opioid class action lawsuit nationwide. Had the city attorney review the documents, work up a recommendation. I think his memo speaks for itself. If you have any questions in regards to his judgment there, he's sitting right here. You can ask him. Otherwise, it's recommend approval.
Any concerns, Jason?
No, I think these settlements are, I hate to compare them to some of the class actions that you might, see as a solicitation you get in the mail, but it is one of these participate or lose out because City of Devils Lake does not have the I don't want to say ability, but maybe the backing to take on this company by itself. So I see no reason to opt out of the settlement agreements, so therefore participate. As far as the bankruptcy plan, in my memo, I deferred to the law firm that's representing the municipalities. They're in a better spot to give a recommendation. This is an enormous bankruptcy. They have 7,000 docket entries. The most I've seen is maybe 200-300 in a reorganization bankruptcy. So they have lawyers devoting probably most of their billable hours to it. So I would defer to their recommendation, which is to accept the Chapter 11 plan.
What's the commission's wishes?
I vote to approve the bankruptcy plan as stated in the memo.
Okay. Commissioner Kanowski,
Second.
Commissioner Pierce. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, Item 8 is pay estimate number 1 for 2025 curb, gutter, and sidewalk. Mike?
Pay estimates for work that was completed on an alley approach for the contractor, completing some concrete work. Payment due this estimate $7,000.24. Recommend approval.
Make a motion to pay the estimate of $7,000.24.
Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
President Wong.
Aye, motion carried. Number 9, pay estimate number 3, City Project 250102, SI 82-25, SI 83-25, and SI 84-25.
This particular project includes multiple street improvement districts. That's why you will see the breakout within the pay estimate. So we're tracking where the expenditures are for each of the individual districts, including the change order that included the cemetery work. Total due this estimate for work completed is $51,479.38. Work's been completed. Recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve the pay estimate of $51,479.38.
Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hash.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Aye.
President Wong.
Aye, motion carried. Item 10, pay estimate number 13, City Project 230-201, water main replacement 28-23 and 29-23.
If you look at the pay estimate is a corrective pay estimate. I apologize to the commission. The city engineer had made a mistake on a previous pay estimate. We always, thank you for drawing more attention to it, Commissioner. We have very good, I believe, checks and balances within engineering because we have multiple people looking at documents to make sure that, when we're doing a pay estimate, the pay estimate is correct. When we finalize the project for the Water Main Improvement District, I go through it, you'll see my initial at the top. And honestly, I'm always looking to make sure that we're not paying any more than what we're supposed to be paying more. In this particular case, there was more payment due the contractor. Should have been caught, it was not caught. And what happened was we installed more curb stops than we had listed on the final pay estimate. The contractor did not catch it. He signed the final pay estimate. But there were additional curb stops that were installed with that project, and therefore payment is due. And so if you look at the corrective pay estimate, we're adding the curb stops that were in fact installed as part of the project, and adjusting one T that should not have been paid for. So this is the final total due the contractor. Total due this corrective estimate is $46,258. We found as we were going through all the special assessment spreadsheets and we were reviewing all of the documents, that's when the adjustment was found. It is payment due, the work was completed, contractor should have been paid for it. At this point, he was not.
10 lashes, Mike. 10 lashes.
I'll take the lashes and they are due. It's honestly,
Are you sure it's not just $460?
it is embarrassing to bring it to the commission because I do have a lot of pride in their department. The mistake that was made.
I'll make a motion to approve. Payment of $46,258.
Commissioner Pierce?
I'll second Mike Eating Crow.
For a long time, like 46 years.
I'm just thankful that we didn't overpay $46,000. Then that would have been a little bit more difficult to swallow. We underpaid.
You can't weasel out of it that way.
Okay. No further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Yawski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hatch.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. President Moe.
Aye, motion carried. Citizen comment, no, nothing tonight. Informational items, the July 2025 financial reports online. Motion to approve the bills as submitted. Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Yawski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hatch.
Aye.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. President Moe.
Aye, motion carried. If there's no other business to come before the commission, meeting adjourned.